Hello. It is 5:16 p.m. on Saturday, January 24th, and it is -3 degrees outside. And I need to put up my hood. And then put up my other hood. Maybe I'll just have this one on today. As I said, it's only -3, so it's not too terribly cold. It's just really cold, not really, really cold. I am heading over to Emart, which is like a giant store, kind of like it's like the Korean version of Walmart. Or the Korean version of Super Target. You know, it's got a lot of groceries in the bottom, and the top is all like household goods. Maybe someday I'll take you through there. Not today, though. I don't think I'll have the battery life for that. And anyways, I'm just going in there to buy a couple beers. They have a really good selection of goods you can't get anywhere else in Korea. So, like, they got the, what is it? The Twisted Tea. That's in there. But it's not, you can't buy it at any convenience store or any grocery store here, only at this one large mart. And they got good deals on everything because, you know, they sell it in volume, so it's not much cheaper, but it's cheap enough that they're the smaller stores are really upset and think that they're running them out of business, because I mean, it is kind of true, you know. Large mega store. Ooh, slid sideways down there. Large mega store running smaller stores out of business, so they have to close one Sunday, 2 Sundays a month. But luckily today is Saturday, not Sunday, so they're still open. Thank you for waiting, car. Oh, look at that orange SUV over there. Wow. You notice the cars here: Mercedes, Bentley. What is this? BMW. Is that a Bentley or is that a Renault? I think that's a Renault. Hyundai. Brand new Hyundai, right? Hyundai Grandeur. You don't see a lot of Japanese cars here. You do see a few. Hondas, Toyotas, they exist. But mostly it's Hyundai, Kia, Renault, however you pronounce it, which is the, there's a Kia right there, which is the, what, Samsung version of the car. There's a Lexus. Hyundai, Kia. There's a bunch of Teslas over here. Mercedes. A lot of Teslas, a lot of Porsches, a lot of Maseratis. I never saw any Maseratis in Dallas. Maybe one or two. And here I think I see a Maserati a week, maybe, which is weird. I've seen some Bentleys. I've seen a couple Rolls Royces, which is not a thing I'm used to. A lot of Volvos, a lot of Audis. They like the European import cars. Back in America, we had an offensive term that we used to call them rice burners, where they were like import performance cars. You know, take a Honda, put a spoiler on it, put a muffler on it, lower it, put a body kit on it, you know, whatever you want to do to it. Change the lights. But that doesn't really happen a lot here. I've seen it a couple times, but it's not common here. So common in America, my high school had a import performance club. I'm trying to remember who was the president of the import performance club. Was it Peter Song? Maybe? Please go, please, thank you. Okay. Restaurant is always popular. I don't know what these people are doing. Probably gonna park right there. Gambling is illegal in Korea, but they do have a lotto. And I think the lotto is about to be drawn or something, because I saw a lot of people in the local convenience store buying lottery tickets, so there must be a big drawing coming up soon. A lot of the apartments in these buildings are 3, 4, 5 bedroom apartments. You get your occasional 1 and 2 bedrooms, but I live in basically a 1 bedroom. It's like a studio apartment, but I have like a sliding glass door kind of thing that separates my room. So if you took out the door, it would be like a large studio apartment. But with the door, it's like a decent sized 1 bedroom. In Korea, you have to put down a big deposit and then pay a monthly fee. And sometimes the larger the deposit you put down, the smaller the monthly fee. So maybe if you put down $10,000, you're paying 800 bucks a month, which is what I'm doing. $10,000, 800 bucks a month. But then maybe you put down $20,000 and you pay, you know, 600 bucks a month. And then at the end, you get that $10,000, $20,000 back. Which, they call that key money, but it's like, you know, I could have that sitting in a bank picking up interest, making money with that $10,000. Instead, my landlord has it sitting in a bank picking up interest. So really, it's beneficial to them. But I would guess the people in these apartments, these 3, 4 bedrooms, I would guess they own their own apartment. Probably paid the equivalent of, you know, $250,000, maybe more, maybe $350,000. Maybe $500,000. It depends on the area, the size of the apartment, how new the building is, how big the apartment is, you know, normal real estate kind of things. But then they don't pay a monthly fee. Of course, they have to pay taxes. Also, nobody has that kind of money just laying around, so they, you know, they get a mortgage from the bank and you're paying your mortgage with the interest. So it's just almost exactly like how it works in America. I talk with my students sometimes about, because we read a book in 7th grade, 8th grade, that's involves the word mortgage, and so we talk about what a mortgage is, how it works, and I always tell them about the term house poor, where you're not really poor, you just own a house, and so you have no, you know, spending money. That's house poor. And one of my students last year was like, my dad says we're house poor. Sometimes he says we're car poor. But then in the last year he said we're daughter poor. because I've got a daughter. I've got all my money tied up in her education and her food, so I thought that was funny. Child poor, that's a new one, right? This is nice. This is a little like walking, biking path that cuts through all these high-rise apartments you can see here. So I'm not just biking along the sidewalk that's next to a road. In fact, I'm gonna get onto this green so it's nice and smooth. There's Perry Baguette. I heard there's a couple in America, but I heard they're trying to expand their businesses in America. Have a lot more locations. So common here. It's everywhere. I really like it, actually, Perry Baguette. Their coffee is hard to beat, very cheap and delicious for what you're paying for. I get it every morning. I've shown you a couple times on my biking videos. You can get a large ice Americano for, I think I usually pay 3,900 won, which is like $3.50, maybe $3.25 for a large coffee. It's a big coffee too, not like Starbucks large, like larger than that. All right, here's the Emart right here. hop off the bike and walk over. Oh! All right. Thanks for bearing with me on this bike ride. Better go.